Hey there. Welcome to Find Your Fit. I'm Deanna, fitness professional for many decades now, including instructor trainer, group fitness instructor, training and certifying other folks and connecting with many different amazing fitness professionals that are making a difference in this field and in the world, because movement is definitely one of the ways we can enhance our overall well-being. So today's episode 1 of this Find Your Fit series, and sharing a couple of things with you. Why I began this series in particular is I needed somewhere to house the fitness stuff that we've been talking about. And then when I say we've been talking about is through, different reels and dialogue with some online clients, some in-person clients, etc. So what better way than start another series, right? Start another podcast series here. And so getting started, I just want to share with you the reason that this is called Find Your Fit, and sort of that has informed my career for the last number of decades, is that fitness, nothing is one size fits all, nothing, especially something like fitness, right? There is more than one way. There are numerous different ways to get moving. And we really want people to move in whatever way feels right for them. We want people to create a great relationship with fitness. So I'm delighted that you've landed here, because we're going to talk about how to create a great relationship with movement, fitness, physical activity, whatever you call it, because we need to keep moving for our physical health, our mental health, healthy longevity, all of those things, right? We have to be moving and lifting and squatting and all of those things, right? Well, we don't have to be squatting. Squatting's awesome, but we don't have to be, in case that's some way that your body doesn't move, right? But it is really about finding the fit, i.e., what fits your body, your schedule, your likes, your dislikes, all of those things, right? So this would be a sort of quick episode for us to begin with, because I want to welcome you and invite you to send me any and all fitness questions, wonderings. I've been doing this work a really long time, and really had a delightful opportunity to work with so many different folks. And as such, have lots of different nuggets of wisdom to share with you from what I've learned from my clients over all of these years. So send me questions, comments. Of course, you can just comment below. If you have a more in-depth question, you can always reach me at deanna@deannalangfordcoaching.com. So feel free to send me a message. Today, I want to invite you to think about 5 tips or 5 things to get you started. So if you have started and stopped, if you've never started, if you are kind of dipped your toe into starting, but you're not where you want to be, all of those things, right? They're all valid. They all happen to everybody. And so there are 5 things I'm going to invite you just to think about to get you started. So 1, what is it that you want? What do you want out of your fitness? And yes, it's a goal. Yes, I want you to use the SMART principle, all of those things. All of those things are really important. And we also have to really figure out what the particular reason is that you want to get moving. So what do you want? Do you want increase in strength, increase in cardio? Do you want simply a social opportunity to connect with others? Again, all valid. And I want you to really drill down on what it is you want. What does it look like? What would the ideal movement practice be for you? Okay. And for somebody to say, well, sitting on my couch and drinking a cup of tea and not moving. Folks, we have to get moving. Like, movement is a privilege, and we have to get moving. The research continues to show us that it is 100%, 110% critical for our physical, emotional, mental health, for us to be able to age well. We say, like, muscle is the currency of aging. We have to hold on to our muscle, right, as we age. And regardless of your age, right? If we can move in a way that's stronger, if we can move with less pain and more ease, like, isn't that what we all want? So number 1, I want you to think about what you're after. Define it. Number 2, why is that so important to you? Okay. So it absolutely relates to that first piece, right? Your goal is what? What do you want? And then why? So why is it important? And the reason that the why is important is, as we said, we start, we stop, we do something, we sort of fall off track. It's what happens. The best plans, the best fitness approaches, the best wellness coaching strategies have almost an expectancy of relapse, right? We get going, we move through our different stages of change, we get into an action stage where we're doing the thing. We might even be doing that thing for more than 6 months, and now we're in sort of a maintenance phase. And then life happens, right? And we fall off track. And it's unrealistic for us to assume what we're doing, we will always be doing, right? In terms of your movement practice. So we also want to think about why, like it's going to, we might fall off track. And this is why the why is so important. So for you to think about, is it so important because when you're more fit, you have less pain? Is it really important for you because when you are more fit, you are able to engage with your kiddos more? You are able to work more. I don't know what the thing is for you. There's some things kind of off the top of my head. So what are you after? Why is it so important? And then 3, this is really key. What is your current capacity for making this change? How much time, now real time, and what I mean is like, how much actual time do you have? And if you're like, my time management, pop over to my Lunch with the Life Coach series, because I have a whole series, 7 episodes on what I have created called the calendar cleanup. It really helps you manage your time, clean up your calendar, get realistic, all of those things. So what is your capacity? So yes, your time, but also what stage of life are you in? Are you caring for little ones? Do you have a newborn, right? My goodness, your capacity for adding movement is different than if you're on your own, perhaps, right? And I'm not saying that it's easy if you're on your own. I'm saying it's different. So it's really key for us to look at what's the capacity. What's your schedule look like? What are your other commitments in your life? Are you caring for other people? Like what does that actually look like? Is this a time maybe you say, hey, I'm coming up to the springtime. That's a time I know I'm more motivated, and one particular work piece, lightens up a little bit. So maybe I have more time. I don't know what that is for you, but really making sure you're honest with yourself about your capacity, what you can take on. And if you can take on more, let's dig into taking on more. Okay. If you aren't able to take in as much as you'd like, then we would have to look at how we find your fit, right? How we connect things. So when you decide on your current capacity, and I don't want you to stay with that always, like life is so seasonal, right? I've had little ones, I've had toddlers and preschoolers and school age and such, right? And now I have adult kids, and everything looks different. There's amazing things, there's challenges, there's, all of that. And it's just important for us to continue to assess and reassess. Where am I now? Where is my family now? What do I need to do differently, perhaps? What could I do differently? Okay. So you've got your what you want this to look like. Why is it so important? What's your current capacity? Step 4 is for you then to say, when I'm aware of my current capacity, when I know what's actually possible, does that impact what I want to do? So you're connecting number 3 and number 1. When my current capacity is whatever that might be for you, does it affect what you want to achieve? For example, if the specific goal of somebody in fitness was, I want to run a marathon, great. And if you then say, but my capacity is to give half an hour twice a week, that just simply doesn't match. There's no judgment to be made. The math isn't mathing, as they say, right? The amount of time in kilometers you have to put in to train for a marathon is not possible in like an hour a week. There's no judgment. We're not a good or a bad person because we can make that happen or not happen. It is to say, does the math add up? Okay. And if your current capacity is here and the goal is way, way up here, then we have to think about, can I somehow build more capacity, and can I adjust the goal? So just think of those two things on a balance, right? The what, the why is in the middle, because the why is always the anchor. And then what does the capacity look like? And here's what happens. When sometimes we bite off more than we can chew, we end up taking on too much. That's why we can't commit. And then we feel really bad about ourselves. And we get into this whole shame cycle, and we're like, oh, I'm a bad person because I didn't do this. Or no, we just didn't do the math, right? And the other piece is, when we have more capacity. Sometimes we're like, oh, that's great. And maybe now I have this extra time, I have a little bit more energy, and I think I'm just going to binge watch Netflix. Hey, maybe that's what you need to do. And is that, what's the why? Does that connect? And you're like, oh, darn, I do have a little bit more time to give to that goal, right? It's just figuring out, this is what Find Your Fit is about, okay? So you've done your 4 things. Your what, the goal, that is. Why is the goal so important? What is your current capacity? And then a negotiation. And I'm not sure if I love the word negotiation, because that usually means somebody is trying to win, right? And I guess you're trying to win your fitness, but it is about finding that what's possible, okay? And then 5th and final, before we wrap up, I want you to think about what your current mindset is around fitness. Do you feel, when you think about a fitness program, when you think about, let's say, someone that you know that has a successful fitness workout routine, and I say successful because we never really know what that looks like, right? We never really know what somebody else's challenges, experiences are. But when you sort of look at it and you think, okay, that seems to be what I would like to achieve. What are your thoughts around that? And what I mean is, do you assume a movement practice or fitness must be hitting the gym 5 days a week for 90 minutes? And is that sort of what it looks like to you? And go back to capacity, your why, and say, well, if, again, it's a simple math, stop judging yourself. You're not a bad person. My goodness. We go back and say, I think the only way to be successful in fitness is to be at the gym 5 days a week, et cetera, et cetera. That is certainly one way. And that works for a lot of folks, right? It works for their current life and their capacity and what they want and what they need. And it just works for them. Great. Is that what works for you? So the 5th point is really to shift your mindset about what you're really stuck in thinking fitness should look like, because that's sometimes where we're like, oh, but I can't get to the gym 5 days a week because life. So we don't do anything. This is where I want to call out things a little bit to say, wait a minute, it's not either 5 days a week or nothing. It is about, right? And I say, I'm giving you a little loving nudge to say, well, let's stop using that as an excuse that I can't get to the gym 5 days a week, so I can't do anything, and start to say, what can I do? Where in my schedule? What is my opportunity? Do I have 10 minutes? Like, what can that look like? And that is really the piece. Creating fitness programs and designs and plans is really kind of like a puzzle. The program design puzzle, which I love, is one of the things, right? To say, take the research, the science, the goals. What is the dose response? Like, what do we need to hit the particular goal if somebody's building muscle mass, strength, endurance, et cetera? What do we need to do? Yes. And what's possible to do? What does the schedule look like? What's the equipment? What's the location? And bringing all of that together. There are so many ways. Look at all the variables I just mentioned. The more variables, the more opportunity to blend things differently, right? There is no one size fits all. So if your neighbor is able to do, go to Pilates 6 days a week and that really works for her, great. But you know what? That's not the way it has to look for you. So I want you to think about what's the takeaway from this episode, is just to think about why this is so important. How would it look different? How would life look different for you if you were more fit? And more fit doesn't have a look. It's not, this way or that way. If you were able to move more, lift more, have more energy, all of those things, how would life be different, right? I just want you to start to think about that and look at opportunities. Stop saying, I don't have time for. Say, I wonder how I can find time. I wonder how I can make time. I wonder where minutes will appear for me to move. Because you know what? Then we start to go, oh, look at that. I'm waiting on the phone for somebody to answer, at the doctor's office to book an appointment. Oh, you know what? I could actually stand up and do this. I could walk around my living room and do this. So it's really something to start to open up, to find other possibilities to help you move towards finding your fit and getting moving more. Again, if you have questions, comments, concerns, please send me a message, comment below, share, subscribe, all of those good things that you know. So comment below if you like, or email me, Deanna@deannalangfordcoaching.com. And I can't wait to hear what you want to learn about. We'll see you soon.